Good morning, folks. We're going to start off with a song. So we're going to be singing number 396, I Know This Rose Will Open, 396, in the gray hymnal, if you want to get that ready.
I think you need to get their attention. Yell good morning and make them get back to you.
Good morning!
Good morning! Okay.
Yeah. We're going to sing. We're going to start off by singing. And we are missing a Jen Bernstein, our music director, this morning. So it takes myself, Mariella, and a whole house band to replace Jen just for one morning. We're going to do our best. I'm not your music director, but I am a music director, so I hope that will help. But please help us out. We're going to be doing a lot of singing, so please help us out. Get into it, clap, move your body, dance, whatever you want to do. So we're going to be starting with I Know This Rose Will Open. We're going to sing it 396 again, just in case you missed it. We're going to sing it twice through in unison, so all together. And then we're going to sing it as a round. So this half, so from the middle to this side, you're going to be my singers, and we're going to start the round. And then this half is going to be Mariella's singers, and you're going to do the second part of the round. So it's going to be I know my rose, I know my rose. So we're going to try that 2 times through. So 2 times all together, 2 times as a round.
Good morning. My name is Guy Belperche. My pronouns are he and him. I'm a member of the board of directors and I serve as your treasurer. And now for some announcemements. Our first community dinner was a great success with over 57 guests attending. The next dinner will be Wednesday, April the 8th at 5 p.m. That's only like 10 days away. Reach out to UU office at firstunitarianottawa.ca to book your spot. On Sunday, April the 19th, so that's in 3 weeks, the choirs of FirstU will be holding their spring concert at 1 p.m. Please mark your calendars and watch the EUU for more details. And the following Sunday, April the 26th, so 4 weeks from today, the annual general meeting of members will be held here in Worship Hall at 12:30. How many people are excited for the AGM? All right, I love that. Please you can show your excitement by attending the meeting and participating in guiding our congregation. And if you're not able to attend, please identify someone to carry your proxy. Information about proxies will be available soon on the members page of the website. The Unitarian Go-Go's will be having a bake sale here next Sunday. So if you didn't get out to get some chocolate bunnies for Easter, you can probably pick up some chocolate goodies here. And finally, with the Time and Talent auction, online auction, just a month away, be sure to create an account or confirm yours from last year on the auction site. And you can find the URL in the EUU, or you can get it from the office. Then you can poke around and get familiar with how it works and what is on offer. This might inspire you to offer an item, and we'll always take your money to buy an item. Bidding opens April 26th, the day of the AGM, and closes April 30th. For questions, contact David Chernyshenko. Oh, there he is. David Chernyshenko, everyone, as he is the person running this, and it is david@davidc.ca. We acknowledge that our campus is located on the traditional, unceded, and unsurrendered territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people. The Algonquin people have inhabited and cared for these lands for thousands and thousands of years, by some accounts as long as 12,000 years. We take this time to express our gratitude and respect to them and to the land for all that it has provided and will continue to provide. As a congregation committed to social justice, we acknowledge the harms done to Indigenous peoples. The work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all who have ears to hear and who have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice.
Thank you. Good morning. There's so much joyous sound in this space. It is delightful to be here with you. My name is Reverend Lara Cowtan. My pronouns are she and her. And I'm joined this morning by our worship associate, Paul Julian. And this is a very participatory service involving FirstU members who are offering personal reflections, and we have our special musical guests who you've met, Chris Cormier and Mariella Kabluzik, and FirstU's very own house band. So really excited about the music for today. But I want to say, if this is your very first time at the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa, or if you've been coming here for decades, or if you are one of those people viewing us on your screen at home, I see you. You are all very welcome here. I'm so glad you could be here for this very special service. Today's service, Transforming Hearts, is an observance of Transgender Day of Visibility, which is on March 31st, so this Tuesday. It's a day that is dedicated to celebrating and uplifting the visibility and achievements of transgender individuals. Can you guys hear me down there? So this is a time, this Transgender Day of Visibility is a time when the legal and medical rights of transgender people are under attack around the world. And it's something that we really need to lift up and bring focus to. And so that's what we're doing today. We, Unitarian and Unitarian Universalists, are firm in our beliefs that all bodies, all gender identities, and all expressions of love are worthy of love and are welcome here. So I'd like to say, dear trans and NB and gender diverse and gender neutral beloveds, thank you for letting me see you. Thank you for being authentically yourselves. I see you and I love you and I am grateful for you. And this community is enriched by your presence. And to everyone joining us this morning, whoever you are, every day, no matter your beliefs, your age, your cultural or racial background, your economic or social standing, your education, your physical or mental abilities, or even your mood today. happy or sad or angry or chill, you are welcome here among the FirstUs of Ottawa. So thank you for joining us. May you find our time together nourishing, healing, and even a bit challenging, and welcome all of it, for you are welcome here.
Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Julien. My pronouns are he and him.
Hi everyone, my name is Sahal Kakriya and my pronouns are they, them.
We will be sharing our centering words today is a prayer for Transgender Day of Visibility, which is Tuesday, just as Reverend Lara mentioned. These words are written by Reverend Barb Greaves, a master-level credential religious educator and co-founder of Trust, Trans-Religious Unitarian Universalists Together.
Blessed are the trailblazers who brought us this far and are still trailblazing, still celebrating.
Blessed are the drag queens and kings who remind us not to take life too seriously.
Blessed are the gender benders, non-binary, gender fluid, and third gender folk, those who challenge us to reframe our gender paradigm.
Blessed are the young ones who present fearlessly from the start.
Blessed are their parents who make space for freedom and love their children fiercely.
Blessed are the siblings and relatives who educate, support, and love us as we are.
Blessed are the genderqueer youth who are struggling and persist.
Blessed are the 90-year-olds just coming out and those who have been out for decades.
Blessed are those whose lives were cut too short. May their stories live on through us.
Blessed are the survivors. May they keep on living.
Blessed are the allies learning to be accomplices.
Blessed are those gathered here today, witnessing, learning, and celebrating.
May we all commit to continue showing up, fighting for justice, celebrating all the genders in life.
Amen.
Amen.
We will now light our chalice. Is there somebody among the throngs who would like to come? Sure, come on up. Well, we can share it. Okay, Joseph, you're going to light the candle, and then you're going to pass it along to Kate. Okay, light it here on this one. See it? Perfect. Now pass it to him. Awesome. And then go way up here. What a teamwork, you guys. You want to blow on it together? 1, 2, 3, blow this one. Awesome. Too many chiefs in the kitchen. Our chalice is lit. We light our chalice as a symbol of our faith, the light of truth, and the warmth of love. We'll now sing our chalice lighting song.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jody McIntosh. I'm the Director of Religious Exploration, and I use she and her pronouns. And this is my trustee assistant, Esther, and they use they and them pronouns. We have a story this morning called Piggy Bunny by Rachel Vale. piggy bunny. So for those out there, I have a few of the slides up there, and for those down here, Esther is going to be holding the book. Better? Is that okay? Okay. How's this? Beautiful. Sorry about that, folks. Liam was just like all the other piglets, except for one thing. All the other piglets wanted to be pigs, but Liam wanted to be the Easter Bunny. Liam tried practicing hopping. He tried to enjoy salad, and he tried to deliver eggs. The Easter Bunny asked Liam's big brother, "Seriously?" "Yes," said Liam. "You are a piglet," said Liam's big sister. "Deal with it." "I am dealing with it," said Liam. So Liam was dealing with it by trying to practice hopping and trying to enjoy salad and trying to deliver eggs. "You are a terrific piglet," said Liam's mom. "We love your squiggly tail and your little black eyes and your snouty nose and your adorably triangular ears." "You are perfect," said Liam's dad, "just exactly the way you are." "Just exactly the way I am," said Liam, "is like a piglet who is going to be the Easter Bunny." "Do we even believe in the Easter Bunny?" asked Liam's little sister. Said Liam's dad, "We are more of a believing in oinking family." "I believe in the Easter Bunny," said Liam. When Liam's grandparents came to visit, everybody said, "Oink, oink, 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 oink." Everybody except for Liam. Liam said, "Hello, my name is Liam, and I'll be your Easter Bunny." "Bunny?" asked Liam's grandpa. "Did this piglet just say that he's a bunny?" "The Easter Bunny," said Liam exclaimed. "Oh," said Grandpa. "He doesn't look like a bunny to me," said one of the neighbors. All the pigs and all the piglets stared at Liam. He didn't look like a bunny to any of them. "Of course, he doesn't look like a bunny," said Liam's dad. "He looks like a perfect piglet. And he doesn't have to try to be anything else," said Liam's mom. "He's our piglet, and we love him." Liam felt loved, but he also felt sad. Everybody was sure he could never be the Easter Bunny. Liam knew they were wrong, but he wondered a little bit, what if they were right? So Liam sighed. "This is the kind of problem," he said, "that is called heartbreaking." "Baloney," said Liam's grandma. "They just have the imagination of a kumquat, the lot of them." She shook her large head. "Go put on your Easter Bunny suit, Liam, then they'll see." Liam blinked his little black eyes. But Grandma," he said, "I don't have an Easter Bunny suit." Liam's grandma smiled gently. "This is the kind of problem," he whispered, "that is called fixable." Liam hopped around his grandparents, his triangular ears twitching with excitement. "You know how to make an Easter Bunny suit?" he asked them. "Absolutely not," said Grandma. "We will order it from Amazon." While he waited for his Easter Bunny suit to arrive, Liam practiced hopping and enjoying salad and delivering eggs. That he got pretty good at, though salad remained a challenge.
When his suit finally arrived, Liam tried it on. It was a bit tight in some places and way too big in others. One of the long bunny ears had trouble standing on its own, but even after Grandma fiddled with the wire inside of it. Also, it was itchy. Liam looked in the mirror. He didn't notice the string hanging down in front of his snout, or the wobbly ear, or the too long sleeves, or the seam coming open a tiny bit across his belly. He even stopped noticing the itch, because what he saw in the mirror, looking back at him, was Liam, the Easter Bunny. Liam smiled and whispered, "Yes." Off he hopped to deliver eggs. And everyone believed in him. So just like Liam, it is good to be who we are, even if folks say that you can't. He wanted to be the Easter Bunny because that's how he felt inside. All right, my friends, it is time to go down for our classes. So all my young folks can follow us down, and we will gather at the basement steps so you can go to your classes. And parents, you will come to room 2 or the chalice room to come and pick up your children at the end. Thank you.
Will our ushers please come forward? Thank you. The offering collected each Sunday helps us to live into our values within this congregation and supporting many good works beyond our walls. We know that we are bound up with each other and our partners in the world, and that generosity is an expression of our faith. Through this month of March, our Sunday collection, unless marked towards your pledge, have been split with our community partner, LEAF, the Women's Legal Education and Action Fund. Since 1985, LEAF, which has a branch in the Ottawa Law School, has achieved significant landmark victories in Canada by using strategic litigation and legal education to advance gender equality. LEAF has intervened in over 160 cases, strengthening the Charter of Rights and Freedoms regarding reproductive freedom, workplace discrimination, pay equity, and the prevention of gender-based violence. Please give as generously as you are able.
Each time that we gather for worship, we set aside a moment to expand the caring ministry of this congregation, as together we recognize the circle of life and death and the milestones throughout our lives of joys and celebrations and sorrows and concerns that mark our everyday. Let us prepare our hearts for this time of sharing with the sounding of our bowl. Today, from our larger community, we place a stone for those celebrating Passover this week, which marks the liberation of the Jews from Egyptian enslavement. May its message of peace and hope and freedom be felt in the hearts of those with the power to make peace happen. And a stone of celebration for the Archbishop of Canterbury, Sarah Mullally, the first woman to lead the Church of England and Global Anglican Communion in its 1,400-year history, a monumental breaking of that stained glass ceiling. And as we reflect on the Trans Day of Visibility, we place stones of sorrow for those trans folk who were lost to violence or despair. And stones of celebration for those living out loud and proud and strong and true to themselves. And from among our FirstU community today, we have 2 cards at the caring table in the back corner for your signatures to share in, as we also share a stone of sorrow and caring support for Christine Hansel, as we join with her in her care and concern for her dear friend Peter, who is in New Zealand with a newly diagnosed brain tumor. We share our care. And a stone of grief as we mourn the death and celebrate the life of Matilda Samuels, who passed away peacefully on March 24th, surrounded by all 3 of her adult children. Matilda was a beloved member of FirstU's Friday Reading for Growth book club and Women's Spiritual Circle, and she'd been living with stage 4 cancer for at least the last year. Our hearts go out to her family and her friends. There will be a small service held next Saturday for those who were close to her, and there's information at the table for that. And at this time, I invite those who feel so moved to come forward and place your own stone of care, of concern, of joy, and celebration for what you're carrying in your heart, to let the ripples move through our hearts. final stone for those unspoken pieces of our hearts that we're not yet willing to give or able to give words to or to part with. And one for those of you online. We hold your stones as well. As we lift all that has been shared into our caring embrace, I invite us into a moment of shared silence together.
Our next hymn is going to be number 1012 in the teal hymnal, and it's going to be accompanied by Mariella on guitar, and we'll have the house band helping us out. When I am frightened, will you reassure me? When I'm uncertain, will you hold my hand? Will you be strong for me? Sing to me quietly. Will you share some of your stories with me? If you will show me compassion, then I may learn to care as you do. Then I may learn to care. When I am angry, will you still embrace me? When I am thoughtless, will you understand? Will you believe in me? Stand by me willingly. Will you share some of your questions with me? If you will show me acceptance, then I may learn to give as you do. Then I may learn to give.
Good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brandon and I use he, him pronouns. I'm a transgender man and I also identify as queer. I have spoken about being trans before and I always find it difficult to narrow down what to say. Do I tell personal stories, give factual information, make arguments? Today I have decided on stories. It's hard to believe, but it was just over 20 years ago that I started my transition. Unlike many trans people, I was lucky enough to have kept the same job all the way through transition. I was there for 7 years in total. I was also lucky that my boss at the time worked in a different city. Let me tell you why. I remember that sometime after my transition, there was an unusual incident that happened at work that I handled. I don't exactly remember what it was. But as I was telling my two closest colleagues what happened and how I responded, one of them said to me, "Oh, you're so much better now." "What do you mean?" I asked her. She told me that just before I started my transition, I had not been performing well. I was short with people, I was slow to respond, I did a half-assed job of things. And my other colleague agreed and said, "If we hadn't known you before that depression set in, we would have told the boss to fire you." I knew I was depressed at the time, but I thought I was hiding it well. I was wrong. Gender dysphoria is like a tumor. It starts off as a small thing you just notice sometimes. But if it's ignored, it grows and grows until it impairs your ability to live. Many trans people of my generation and older didn't come out so much as we broke down. We snapped after a long time of knowing that we were trans and trying to hide it. In my case, I was diagnosed with endometriosis, and as the doctor was explaining treatment options to me, I had a meltdown and told her that I never wanted any of this equipment in the first place, and I thought I was transgender. Lucky for me, she was very forward-thinking for a doctor at that time, and she said to me, "I think I know the doctor in Ottawa who deals with that. Do you want me to make you a referral?" And that's when I finally exhaled and said yes. I think these stories are important to tell because with the greater acceptance of trans people that has come recently, more people are coming out as trans before they reach the point of having a mental health crisis. And ironically, because of that, to an outsider, it can look like they are transitioning for no good reason. When I think back to all the months I was so depressed, part of the reason that I held off on transitioning was that I have a very small body. I didn't think I would get any respect as a man. But then I realized that the person who spends the most time with my body is me. And if nothing else, I could at least be happy in my body when I was alone. As it turned out, transitioning did much more than that for me because it wasn't until then that I had my first real relationship. I'm not a typical man, I'm a fairly effeminate queer man, but that's okay. There is room in the world for people like me and for every other sort of person. I do think that things are worse for trans people now than when I transitioned 20 years ago. But if I were on the brink of starting to transition today, I would still go through with it because the alternative is still worse. That to me is the bottom line. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. See you soon, Chris. It's funny, I'm going to echo a lot of what Brandon said. I couldn't tell you how many times I've started over this reflection. Had I been using a typewriter, I'm not sure if they're still usable these days, but I think there would have been a heap of papers on the floor from all the versions that didn't make the cut. First, I tried to write a story to bring you along with me during those childhood years when I began to know that one day I'd become a boy. But after a few pages, I realized that the entire service wouldn't be long enough to truly recount all of the pivotal moments which led to the beginning of my transition. Then I wrote an essay to try and illustrate my view on transphobia, on how distressing the denial of one's affirmation can be, and how I had to have the heart to be myself despite all of the dismissals. I put in fancy quotes and made references to smart people, but nevertheless, I still remained unsatisfied. Why was it so hard for me to put a finger on what I was longing to share? I suppose it could be said that I'm a silent warrior in my transness. I don't usually disclose my identity to people outside of my intimate circle, to say nothing about coming out at church. This is because for me, deciding to medically transition was always largely motivated by the desire to just blend in. Confronted by the shame of being misgendered and the anxiety of choosing a washroom where I could feel safe, I began hormone therapy and using gender-affirming gear in hopes of just navigating my life without constant toil. It must be said, I'll always remain deeply grateful to the community centers and organizations who supported my self-determination back then by facilitating my access to a prescribing doctor. The year 2003 was a different time, and in terms of my own experience, receiving that care was not only life-changing, but it was also life-saving. The funny thing was, now that I was looking like a man, I found I wasn't sure how to act like a man. Having not been socialized that way, I logically tried to emulate what society was showing me. Unfortunately, I'm sure I don't need to draw you a picture to illustrate that what they were showing me about being a 20-year-old man in the early 2000s wasn't that great. Today, it's easier to see that truly it wasn't droll at all. In more subtle ways, I'd take up more physical space or be more confident in sharing my ideas. But in more overt ways, I'd objectify women and began having anger as my baseline emotion. The fact is, by glorifying misogyny as the manly way to act, I was also vilifying my own femininity. Being blinded by the acceptance I was receiving, I was dismissing all the internalized hate I was absorbing. At the time, I thought that partying and drinking nightly was just a normal part of being young in Montreal, which I'm sure it can be for many people. Looking back now, though, I realize that it was more likely than not a way for me to keep submerged all the vulnerability that I dared not have floating to the surface. So here I am 23 years later and still not quite sure how to take the plunge. Despite looking as I do and benefiting from the privileges that come with being perceived as male, it nonetheless doesn't heal all the battle scars, nor does it protect me from still fearing future wounds. Will you all see me the same way after today? Will my son one day reject me for not being like him? Clearly, some cognitive distortions can be as twisted and perplexing as the skewed outlooks which created them. Thankfully, though, wisdom has allowed me to appreciate a clearer view of myself and the man whom I've become. There need not be two me's, the one that was and the one that is. Being whole is recognizing and acknowledging all of my states, all of my traumas, and all of my strengths. Being a transsexual man has brought me humility, empathy, courage, and resilience. It's taught me to listen to that quiet voice inside, the one who speaks from love rather than from fear. It's that spirit who told me to be standing here with you today, and so I'll trust that this is the version of the reflection that you were meant to hear. Thank you.
So lovely, Paul. Yeah, thank you. And Brandon, too. Yeah, sure, yeah. So we're going to sing 170 in the gray hymnal. We are a gentle, angry people, but you may not want to look too closely at the lyrics in the hymnal because we've changed some words. So just if you use the ones on the screen, those will be the right words. We're going to sing "We're a Gentle Angry People," then "A Land of Many Colors." Then we are going to sing "We Are Cis and Trans Together," and then back to "We Are a Gentle Angry People." So the lyrics will be on the screen. Please rise as you are able and would like to. 170. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a land of many colors, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are cis and trans together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are cis and trans together, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, angry people, and we are singing, singing for our lives. We are a gentle, loving people, and we are singing, singing for our lives.
Hi, I'm Nina, and my pronouns are they, them. When I was a child, I desperately wanted short hair, but my parents wouldn't let me cut my hair short for years and years. Eventually, I took matters into my own hands and, with a pair of scissors, cut my hair in one place just below my ears. Then they had to give me a short haircut to even it out. This is a picture of myself as a kid shortly after that time. It's my favorite picture of myself as a kid. I can see my gender-bending essence in it. To me, I look calm, curious, and happy. Fast forward to when I was around 17, I started finding some identity language that resonated with me, and I was exposed to queer youth like myself. As a result, I was provided with the opportunity to be authentic for the first time. As a result, it was a transformational time for me, discovering who I am underneath who I was told I was supposed to be for so long. It was a time of breaking out of a sheltered religious upbringing and finding queer and trans community and kin like never before. I recall fondly at 17 getting my first ever clipper cut with my partner at the time on Bank Street in Ottawa's Village. That haircut felt like freedom. I came out at the cost of stable housing though, and spent several years bouncing around shelters, transitional, and supportive housing. Supportive housing meant more than one thing to me at that time. It was both supportive to my health and affirming of my identities. I could no longer live anywhere where I had to hide who I was in order to be safer, both emotionally and physically. Safety is a weird concept for me these days. It feels more like a continuum than a destination. In this political and social climate, it feels more realistic to focus on harm reduction measures and responding to harm when it does happen, than assuming that safety exists when it's not promised or present for all folks. Harm reduction is a reactive stance, though, not a proactive one. What would it mean to intentionally build safety into the fabric of our endeavors, recognizing safety as the basic need that it is? For those who do not have the luxury of safety these days, do we realize how much that costs us all? Fear, anxiety, trauma, even physical harm, these have lasting ripple impacts. When even one of us experiences a lack of safety, it impacts our collective sense of safety, our view of community, and our ability to trust one another. Recently, I was harassed by a stranger in public because of transphobia. Since then, my lack of a sense of safety has reached new heights. I'm more vigilant in public. I already didn't trust strangers, but I'm less likely to give them the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't feel realistic to assume good intentions when I know they aren't always present. I'm split up about sharing this, as I don't want to scare other trans and queer folks. It's concerning to me that visibly expressing my queerness or gender identity could put me at risk of harm. At the instance of a friend, I took all my trans, gender, queer, and non-binary pins off my bag, and this was painful for me to do. In public, I've considered being more covert. I've stopped introducing my pronouns to people I don't know well, scared of how they might react and respond. It wears away at my spirit. Every time I'm misgendered, it hurts. Sometimes it just feels achy, like when I know someone is trying. Sometimes it feels like a punch in the gut. I know these are alterations to my gender expression and choices that I can make, but they are changes not everyone has the privilege, ability, or desire to pursue. Personally, as a genderqueer person, any sort of passing as my gender identity would mean being very visibly trans and not fitting neatly into binary boxes. Usually my gender expression changes day to day, but I'm not sure, I don't feel safe enough right now to just dress in what feels good to me. Regardless of how I present, I am trans. My expression may be fluid, but that identity is not. So what would it take for me to feel safer? It would take being proactive around co-creating safer spaces and communities, like I mentioned earlier. It would take cis people skilling up and speaking up in support of trans people. It would take allies and accomplices being louder than the hate, leaving no space for it. It would take building spaces into true sanctuaries for queer and trans folks. I want to be with good company who make good trouble wherever they go. It would take accomplices and allies not leaving all the labor of advocacy and the education of other cis people on the backs of the people most impacted by transphobia. I want everyone to take initiative to learn how to support trans people through this time, to take upstander intervention training, to learn strategies for responding to anti-trans rhetoric in their own lives. Can people please support vital and limited trans community spaces, even if those spaces don't include cis people? It would take spaces like this service and the workshop on Tuesday, where people are showing up to support trans people's authentic selves and our journeys, to celebrate, to honor, to be here for all of it, not just when it's comfortable or easy to comprehend. I invite you to be here and there on Tuesday, in this mess, with us. The most painful safety tip I heard after my experience of harassment, though well-intentioned, was to wear a hat in public and around strangers. My queer-coded hair is an expression of my identity, and it is also an expression of having free will. It is art, it is poetry, it is hard-won autonomy after 17 years of being shoved into a space I never fit in. Styling my hair is a spiritual practice. It is a prayer, and it is an affirmation of self-care. My hair feeds my joy. I'll only ever wear a hat if I want to, for myself, and while I often do wear hats, it's about choice, not control or avoidance of harassment or discrimination. So, what would 9-year-old Nina think about all this? They'd probably be shocked that they're still alive and in many ways thriving. They would probably say something like, "You didn't make it this far to only make it this far." They were really into cheesy inspirational quotes, but that's true. A quote likely originating from John A. Shedd comes to mind. "A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships are built for." This is still unfolding. I'm still living through it, working through it, and loving my gender bendiness through it. I will not let bigoted people steal my joy. I fought too hard for it. Now, I invite people to rise in body and spirit to join in singing with our house band, This Joy.
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Strength!
This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This strength that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Love!
This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Love! Pride! Pride!
The world didn't give it to me. This pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This pride that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
And back to joy!
This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh no. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away.
Joy is an act of resistance. This is originally the title of a poem by Black poet Toy Derricotte. Joy is an act of resistance, has been embraced as a sustaining positive force for change, a defiant announcement that you exist, you are powerful, and you can't be broken. As we hold with care and gratitude all that has been shared here today, may we live our joy out loud in the world. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These will carry in our hearts until we're together again. Please rise once more and join in singing Spirit of Life, and then may you go forth in joy.
All the
started and I played classical guitar. I thought I would do that for a career, and then I realized computers was more, you know, you can be a musician, and you can be great, and you can make no money at all. And I really wanted to be independent, so I was going to double major computer science and classical guitar, but then it was just too much, so I